Welcome guys to How to Survive Don't Starve. Now this game was developed by Klei Entertainment, released last year of April 27 on the PC. Later on the PS4 on the January 7 of 2014. Now I want to give you guys a basic survival tips on how to be successful in the game. Since we're put right into the middle of the game with no tutorial or any tips on what to do whatsoever. You can do it like I did, where I died a couple of times figuring out what to do, and I guess that in its own way it's part of the fun. But if you want to avoid some frustration and don't want to deal with that, then I encourage you guys to keep watching. I am pretty sure you'll find some of this pretty helpful on how to get started. And if you don't, then there's only one thing I can say to you guys. I guess you're on your own, my friend. Now, this game, our main character, his name is Wilson, the gentleman scientist. Now, he's he likes to experiment, but that doesn't really get things quite done well. Now, from all this frustration, he feels like he hears this voice telling him that he will give him the secret knowledge on how to be successful. And this really piques Wilson's interest. And then now he receives all this knowledge and then starts tinkering around with his machine and creates this machine. Now we don't know what this machine does at this moment. And then as soon as after he presses the button and switches everything on, he soon finds out that there's something wrong, and the voice or the shadow behind this betrays him and sends him to this unworldly, unknown place that we will find ourselves to fend for our own. And now this is where our adventure starts. And now let's get this started, you guys. The first things that we need to know is that we need food, fire, and tool. Now for food, there's many things that we can scavenge, for like flowers, seeds, butterflies, carrots, anything that you might think is edible, we can eat in here. Now, if we want to catch small animals, we're definitely not going to be able to catch them by hand, since these little critters are pretty fast on their feet, and the only way is by making traps for that. Once we have created a trap for that animal, like for a rabbit for instance, we'll put where most likely this trap is gonna work, which is gonna be a rabbit hole. Now we place the trap there, we leave, we come back later, and we see if we have captured anything. And if we have, obviously we have to kill it, and then we will have our food for the day. Now, fires and tools and trees. Now, creating fires before nightfall is one of the most important things to create for surviving for the next day. You always have to make sure that you check the meter to your top right corner when nightfall is coming, because if you don't have the resources to make a fire by that time, or the tools to help you get the resources, then you're totally fucked. But you definitely don't want to be like that. So you always keep yourself a constant look on that meter on the top right. And then as well as when you cut down trees, you have to place the acorns back on the plant the trees back down, because if you don't, then you're not gonna have any resources to make the fire. Now when you're fighting monsters, obviously they're gonna drop some monster meat, but if you eat the monster meat, it will take your health away, which is your heart meter on the right as well. And you definitely don't want that, because once it's lowered to the down the bottom, it's game over. Now obviously there's other types of meat that you can eat, like turkey. Now definitely that's a good meat. Now there's other bad things like evil flowers, which are definitely not something you want to either carry or eat at all, because that would lower your state of mind, which is that little brain circle in the right as well. Because if you lower that brain meter down to the lowest, you will start hallucinating, you start hallucinating monsters that come at night that will can't get you at the day, and then these monsters will actually be able to injure you, and they're a real pain in the ass. So that's why you don't want that. The I call it the state of mind meter. I don't know what to actually call, but you gotta always watch out for that as well. And then the way to get it up in case it goes down, you gotta eat flowers, and there's other berries and stuff that can actually get it up. Now the science machine I feel like it's one of the most important tools, because it allows to create you more more tools that you can't unlock unless you have that science machine. Now crafting various tools will help you survive for a longer time, obviously. And when you craft tools, you definitely have to go near the science machine. Even if you have all the tools, all the resources to create certain tools, you cannot unlock it unless you do it first by the science machine. and this will help you create, chests where you can put your, extra resources that you can't carry, and as well as a backpack to actually help you carry more stuff on yourself. And this will give you more chances of survival. Now, definitely not gonna go into specifics unless you guys want me to, but that's for another day and another video. Hopefully this helped you guys and gave you a higher chance of survival. And remember though, don't take on fights that you can't win. When you die, you get experience points, so that's not the end of the day, because this allows you to unlock different characters with different various abilities. Alright you guys, remember that this was Fear D. I'll be seeing you guys later.